Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on the civil court system to take a really energetic, fascinating look at how it all actually works. If you've ever felt completely intimidated by legal jargon or just wondered how lawsuits are built from the ground up, you are in exactly the right place. Our goal today is super simple. We're going to demystify the anatomy of a lawsuit and turn all those complex concepts into clear, easy-to-understand steps. Let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? Someone wrongs you and your brain instantly goes, "They were mean to me, make them pay." We want immediate justice. But here is the hard truth that shocks almost every first-year law student. If you want to sue someone in a South African court, you absolutely cannot just hand the judge a dramatic story. Cases based purely on emotion or drama or just feeling slighted, they get thrown out immediately. The law doesn't care how mean someone was because the law operates on strict structure. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap. We'll start with the legal recipe, check out some common legal ingredients, learn about building a real case, and finally, wrap up with how to play defense. All right, Section 1, the legal recipe. So building a lawsuit, it is definitely not about spinning a good yarn or giving a tear-jerking performance. It's actually about following a super strict metaphorical recipe. If there's literally just one piece of legal jargon you take away from this whole explainer, let it be this: cause of action. A cause of action is the specific legal ground that actually entitles you to demand something like money from a court. And here's the secret. It's made up of a strict set of factual requirements called elements. Think of these elements as your ingredients. If you're the plaintiff, the person suing, your summons has to clearly list all these elements. If your legal recipe misses even one single ingredient, the whole dish is ruined. But what happens if you actually forget an ingredient? Well, the other side is going to hit you with something called an exception. This is basically them walking into court, pointing at your case, and effectively stopping it before it even begins. They tell the judge, look, even if every single dramatic thing this person says is completely true, it still doesn't equal a valid legal case. The recipe's broken, so the court throws the whole thing out. Moving right along to Section 2, common legal ingredients. Let's bring this down to earth with a real-world example from South Africa. We're going to look at a classic breach of contract. If you want to sue someone for breaking an agreement, your recipe absolutely demands 3 specific ingredients. 1, a valid contract actually existed. 2, the other party breached or broke a specific term of that contract. And 3, you suffered a financial loss specifically because of that breach. You need all 3. Just having a contract and someone breaking a rule isn't enough to sue if you didn't actually lose any money. Now, our second big category is what's called a delict. This is a really great term to have in your back pocket. Basically, it's just the legal bucket for personal injury or damages. This is exactly what you claim if someone dents your car in a parking lot, physically injures you, or even defames your character in public. The recipe for a derelict, a bit more heavy duty. You need 5 specific ingredients here. 1, an act or omission, meaning they did something or failed to do something they should have. 2, wrongfulness, meaning it violated the law or your rights. 3, fault, so they did it intentionally or negligently. 4, harm, meaning you suffered actual physical, emotional, or financial damage. And 5, causation. Their specific action directly caused your damage. The absolute kicker here is that you need all 5. Leave one out, boom, you have no lawsuit. Which brings us to Section 3, building a real case. Okay, let's put this theory into practice. Imagine a client storms into a lawyer's office. They're upset, it's chaotic, they're just venting raw emotion. How do legal professionals sift through all that noise to extract a structured cause of action? They use a strict 4-part filter. Step 1, identify the core harm. Look at the ultimate bad thing that happened. Is it a broken promise or a broken object? Step 2, select the legal category. Does this sound like a contract issue or a delect? Step 3, list the required elements. You lay out the specific recipe for that category. And finally, Step 4, map facts to elements. You systematically match the client's story to each required ingredient. If a fact is missing, you have to go out and find it. Let's see this mapping in action. We've got Thabo and Sipho. Thabo WhatsApps Sipho, pays him 20,000 Rand for a secondhand car, but Sipho ghosts him, blocks the number, no car. We look at our required legal elements for a breach of contract: agreement, breach, and damage. Then we map Thabo's raw facts. Agreement, yep, they agreed via WhatsApp and a bank transfer. Breach, yeah, Sipho failed to deliver the car. Damage, Thabo is out of pocket 20,000 Rand. Because all the facts map perfectly to the required ingredients, Thabo has an incredibly solid cause of action for his summons. And finally, Section 4, How to Play Defense. Let's flip the script completely. Imagine you're the one being sued. Someone hands you a perfectly mapped cause of action. What's your move? You need to respond with a valid legal defense. To do this, legal minds rely on two main structural pillars. Strategy A is attacking an element. We call this the not true or the so what defense. And strategy B is totally different. It's a confessing and avoiding defense, or as it's commonly known, the yes but defense. Let's unpack both of these. So with strategy A, you're actively hunting for a missing or weak ingredient in their recipe. Say they're suing you from negligence because you bumped their car. Your defense might be, hey, yes, I bumped it, but that massive dent you're claiming for, that was already there from a previous accident. You are directly attacking the causation and harm elements, totally breaking their recipe apart by proving their specific damage wasn't caused by you. Now, strategy B is where it gets really interesting. This is the yes but defense. You actually admit their basic story's true. You tell the court, yep, everything happened exactly like you said. But then, you drop a brand new external fact that completely torpedoes their legal right to sue you. You introduce a case-ruining ingredient. Take a look at the number 3. In the South African legal system, 3 years represents prescription, which is the lifespan of most civil debts before they legally expire. So using strategy B, your defense becomes, yes, I owed you that money, but it happened 4 years ago, and you never demanded it. Therefore, the debt has legally prescribed. By dropping that new timeline fact into the mix, the case is totally defeated. There are other fantastic yes but defenses that work exactly the same way. Think about jurisdiction. You could say, yes, we have a dispute, but the incident happened in Cape Town, and I live in Cape Town, so you literally cannot sue me in a Johannesburg court. Or contributory negligence. Yes, I hit your car, but you ran a red robot, a traffic light, so you're actually the one mostly to blame. Both of these admit the core story, but introduce a new structural reality that knocks the plaintiff's case right down. At the end of the day, when you strip away the drama and analyze a client's story, the goal isn't to figure out who is fundamentally good or bad. It's all about the structural pillars of the law. A cause of action builds the house, and a defense simply tries to knock down at least one of those crucial pillars. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. Is justice really about right and wrong? Or is it simply about who builds the absolute best legal architecture? Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you walk away seeing the legal system in a completely new, structured light.